Today, we finally spoke with the SBI. They say they can't talk about the specifics of the investigation into Lennon Lacy's death. They did say it's taking so long because they are following every single lead they get. Now, the NAACP, along with Lacy's family members, are speaking out against that investigation. Mackenzie, a spokesperson with the America's Energy Forum, says drilling off of our coast could bring upwards of 280,000 jobs to the Atlantic. But he says, like any industry, there is a risk, and that's why some residents say no to offshore drilling. Mackenzie, this boardwalk holds more than a century of memories. For one couple, their story started on the old boardwalk 23 years ago. But today, they wanted to break in the new boardwalk with one of their favorite memories. For decades, Reddix has been a one-stop shop in Wrightsville Beach for anything from t-shirts to fishing equipment. But soon, Reddix will be a one-stop shop for downtown Wilmington. Brunswick County Sheriff John Ingram says this is where the chase started last Thursday. But this morning, Ingram says this is where it ended because validated gang member William Hewitt is back behind bars after several agencies found him hiding in a camper behind his mom's house. About 6 months ago, beach erosion threatened almost 40 homes on the north end of North Topsail Beach, but the town manager says after a record-quick emergency plan, they are now safe. Highway Patrol says in the month of December alone, there have been 32 collisions on Highway 17, 9 of those with injuries and 1 fatality that happened right here last night. But residents say the problems on 17 have been ongoing for a while now, and they've taken their concerns to Facebook. From selfies to ping pong, the largest business expo yet had lots of creativity to show what Wilmington businesses have to offer. At their annual retreat, the town of Topsail Beach began the discussion of turning their 20 beach accesses into paid parking lots. And while the mayor says they have already heard some opposition, the proven success in other beach towns is leaning them towards the idea.
A Columbus County elementary school gets help from a Florida elementary school after a fire destroys the main building. Old Dock Elementary School lost its historic main building almost 2 months ago. WWAY's Hannah Patrick tells us what one former student brought them from Orlando in a story that's only on 3.
Old Dock Elementary School's auditorium and library are now just memories for Lisa Metz.
Boys were here, the girls were down there.
Memories as a student that led her to her career.
Teachers at this school influenced me to become a teacher.
A teacher at Lost Lake Elementary, 12 hours away near Orlando, Florida. When she got the call about the fire,
very heartbreaking. There's a lot of memories there.
She couldn't help but want to give back.
I sent an email out just asking for gently used books.
An email that turned into 4,000 books from Lost Lake.
I said to them, I'll drive them up. I can get to see my family. I'll take my expedition. It'll be fine. Well, next thing I know, they were like, you're not going to take the, you can take the expedition, but you're going to have to rent a U-Haul.
Principal Ronna Gore says that U-Haul is just another step toward creating new memories as they rebuild.
We have little roll-around carts, little makeshift library in the gym, little roll-around carts that Miss Lee, our librarian, takes from class to class each day. So the outpouring of support from different people, organizations has just been really overwhelming.
But for those people,
I have to do another program.
That building holds irreplaceable memories.
I mean, I keep seeing myself walk out the steps.
That's why Metz took the extra step to bring new students an old memory that will never fade with time.
I know that you can read a book on an iPad or a computer, but it's not the same as holding it and turning those pages and seeing the pictures like that.
In Columbus County, Hannah Patrick, WWAY News Channel 3.
Brunswick County Sheriff deputies arrested William Hewitt in Southport early this morning.
Hewitt escaped from the jail last Thursday after switching arm bracelets with his brother Curtis. WWAY's Hannah Patrick shows us the search warrants that helped deputies find the convicted felon. It's the lead at 6.
6:45 a.m. Helicopters, canines, and more than 8 law enforcement agencies searched William Hewitt's family's compound in Southport. Just yards from the house, in some bushes, deputies say they found him hiding in this camper with a foam mattress and a small pit bull.
There was no fight, no struggle without incident. He had a number of things to say, which a lot of them I don't think I need to repeat on camera.
Sheriff John Ingram says during the initial search, they tracked his footprints.
We found his actual bare footprint on trails leading from this location where he left to where we found him.
Ingram says they also initially interviewed Hewitt's family, and so did we. This is what William Hewitt's mom told WWAY on Saturday.
I don't know where he's at. I don't have a clue. He has not contacted me. I don't know where William's at.
But the 15-page search warrant shows a different story. The sheriff's office transcribes a phone call from the jail between William and his mother on January 29th, the day he escaped by trading armbands with his brother Curtis Hewitt. William tells his mom, "When they call Hewitt, I'm going up." The warrant also says William's girlfriend told detectives William's mom was trying to pick him up. Now the 6 people in that house Tuesday morning are also behind bars, charged with helping Hewitt hide. As for Hewitt,
He's in isolation.
one jailer has been fired since, and Ingram says he anticipates more disciplinary action because protocols were broken. Protocols that he says create a solid, undefeatable system.
It's extremely hard to defeat an iris scanner. And as long as all these systems are followed, we won't have an escape. I can assure you he won't escape again.
In Brunswick County, Hannah Patrick, WWAY News Channel 3.
A teacher is getting one of her students a free home, almost. WWAY's Hannah Patrick tells us what it's going to take to get the house and why the student needs it. It's a story that's only on 3.
She has a heart.
Tammy Motley started mentoring Aaliyah 4 years ago.
Aaliyah has a learning disability.
So Motley teaches, but she says Aaliyah became a blessing in disguise.
Well, I feel like she's just like my own daughter.
When Aaliyah's mother died 3 years ago, she and her 2 siblings had to move in with their grandmother in this trailer in Maple Hill.
These are my world.
But Motley, who also lives on this road, says Aaliyah's home is still damaged from Hurricane Floyd years ago.
We were stranded for 3 days.
While some of these houses were rebuilt, Aaliyah's was not. So for the past 2 years, she's been trying to find her a new one.
She's become attached to me, and so anyway, it gets emotional. But I want this to happen for them.
An emotional search that may be over.
My husband got a phone call.
A phone call from the Wounded Warrior Project saying they plan to burn down this house a mile away from Aaliyah to build a new one for the owner.
My husband was like, well, I know my wife is looking for a place for this family.
Motley says the owner will give them the estimated $180,000 house for free.
We just have to move it.
But to move that house from this spot to this spot a mile away will cost them
$12,000.
A small price tag for some, but a big dream for Aaliyah's family.
I looked at that house years ago.
A dream that may become a reality.
We need help from the community.
If they can raise $12,000 by April 18th.
And I will do anything that I can to help their family.
In Pender County, Hannah Patrick, WWAY News Channel 3.
While a wounded warrior is waiting to get a new home, he is giving his old home away.
So much for good karma. Last month, part of that home was burglarized. WWAY's Hannah Patrick tells us why the veteran remains grateful and how it's affecting his neighbors. It's a story that's only on 3.
4 years ago, while Tom McCrae was working on explosives disposal in Afghanistan, he stepped on a bomb.
Kind of like, well, kind of saw this one coming.
While that bomb took one arm, both legs, and an eye, McCrae says he has found normalcy.
It's just a different normalcy. I do most of the same stuff that I used to do. I just do it differently, and a lot of it takes me a little longer.
That normalcy will soon be a little easier because Building for America's Bravest is now building McCrae a new home.
And they build specially adapted smart homes for severely injured veterans.
A specialty gift that McCrae says he wasn't expecting.
I went, have I really earned that? I don't know. I don't feel like I've earned it.
That's why he jumped at an opportunity to donate his old house to a neighbor. This house may look familiar to you because last month we told you a wounded warrior was donating it to a little girl with a learning disability. That wounded warrior is Tom McCrae. McCrae's neighbor Tammy Motley had been searching for 2 years for a house for one of her students.
This thing just fell in my lap.
It's nice to be able to give back. I've been kind of helped out so much, and I'm somebody that really doesn't feel like I deserve that help.
It was more than Motley was expecting, and it was a chance for McCrae to do more. But in the meantime, McCrae says an unexpected burglary in the garage of the house was more than unwanted.
Yeah, you know, it's just money. It's frustrating, and it's mostly sad that somebody would do that.
But McCrae says it's just stuff that can all be replaced. In Maple Hill, Hannah Patrick, WWAY News Channel 3.
Pender County commissioners are asking the DOT to consider a noisy solution to prevent accidents on Highway 17. WWAY's Hannah Patrick tells us what they are and what that means for nearby residents. It is the big story at 6.
That noise may be loud and alarming, but that's the point. Pender County Commissioner David Williams says he wants those rumble strips on Highway 17.
Folks ride for a good period of time, you just get comfortable.
The hope, no more crashes like this one that killed 2 young brothers after troopers say a truck driver didn't slow down for a red light at Sloop Point Road.
Those of us that live down Sloop Point Loop Road know that you don't go when the light's green, doesn't mean you just go.
Neighbors also know because Wyatt Cunningham says only 2 days ago he couldn't just go at a green light.
All I could see was his blue otter box, and he's staring at his phone as he's missing the stoplight, and I'm waiting to pull out.
Williams is now asking the DOT to put rumble strips or flashing lights at Sloop Point Road, Washington Acres, and 210 in Surf City.
And DOT has responded that they're willing to listen.
But the DOT says there are some restrictions on how close rumble sections can be placed near residential neighborhoods because of the noise. Something Cunningham isn't concerned about.
Life's more important than a little bit of noise from rumble strips.
But after years of fighting for the Hampstead bypass, Williams says this too won't be easy.
Folks have to remember that things like this really come down to the almighty dollar, and the dollars for this come from that beltway in Raleigh, and that's where the change is going to have to take place.
In Pender County, Hannah Patrick, WWAY News Channel 3.
Williams says the commissioners that will be talking about hiring a lobbyist for all of these kinds of solutions at their next meeting, and that meeting will be June 8th at 4 p.m.
First, according to data released by the Associated Press, some VA clinics in our state rank in the top 15 for not meeting the timeliness standards. WWAY's Hannah Patrick tells us what they are and why some veterans say they're not surprising.
I don't understand how an organization that big can have so many issues, and at the same time, the public don't get to see.
Vietnam veteran Mark McAllister says he's been to VAs across the country for service-related injuries.
Baltimore and Ann Arbor, I never had an issue with anything.
But when he moved to North Carolina, the issues began.
Fayetteville, I do not get seen at all. The Wilmington Clinic, they're trying really hard.
In a 6-month study, the Wilmington VA ranks number 36 out of 940 for their appointment delays. Jacksonville is number 5.
That does not surprise me at all. What I've seen, some people are working very, very hard at Fayetteville, and then there's other people that you go in there and it's just sad to see what's going on there. As big a facility as it is, and they still can't keep up with the demand.
Fayetteville Public Affairs Officer Jeffrey Melvin says that demand is their issue.
Each day, more and more veterans are enrolling for care at our sites. So it's the double whammy. We had a considerable backlog, but our numbers are continuing to grow.
Melvin says they are working on the issue despite the study's numbers.
It is just frustrating.
But through that frustration, McAllister still has hope for the Wilmington Clinic.
But I think through time and through more experience, they'll be able to handle the increase of veterans that are coming down.
In Wilmington, Hannah Patrick, WWAY News Channel 3.
And Melvin adds that they have started some weekend hours at some sites and they have web portals as well.